Yo, what's going on? Y'all don't understand how long I've been waiting to do this. So welcome to You Just Freestyled. We're primarily going to be talking about freestyle, hip hop music, hip hop culture. I know a lot of people are in love with that. Um, I'm gonna put a clip in here, but I attempted to record this a while ago and then had no audio, so yeah, yeah. But we're here, so we're gonna focus on that. Um, so today, first lesson is learning to freestyle rap, right? Or no, wait, that's the lesson plan. Today's lesson for the lesson plan is building a relationship with hip hop through music. Um, so maybe like you're just like, man, I always wanted to rap. I'm gonna start saying person. I always wanted to rap. Or you've just been watching the movement for a really long time and you've always been interested in the freedom of the lyricism, or even the freedom of freestyling, of being yourself, or interacting with music in a way that's palatable and favorable to you. But you're like, where do I start? I don't know any hip hop, or if I do, I only know what's top 40, which honestly isn't a bad thing. It's about starting somewhere. So my first recommendation would be to play a song from your favorite artist. If you don't have a favorite artist, listen to an artist that's noticeably mentioned often around you, um, whether that be by friends, family, commercials, TV, movies. That doesn't mean that you'll necessarily immediately or ever resonate with that artist or their music, but the idea is to build an idea of what you do and what you don't like. And in the general spirit of hip hop, although everyone might not share the same ideology, if you stay around a genre, particularly hip hop, a lot, you'll start to find things you like, even about the artist or the songs. You're like, yeah, I'd never listen to that. The goal is just to familiarize yourself consciously, right? And an artist, a rapper, a hip hopper, however you want to classify yourself, tends to be a part of an overall experience. So they tend to cross over into a lot of those commercials, movies, books you enjoy, podcasts, blogs. Yo, I'm so gassed about this first run. I know some of these words are coming off, but I'll like subtitle stuff eventually. So just y'all don't even understand right now. You can even use social media if you want. There's a lot of rappers who have made prominent waves in the last few years, and kind of, I guess, in the general history or story of hip hop, have there been a lot of people who have been through some form of what we count as social media, who've risen to, hey, I know that person, even if you only know like one song. The general idea that you want to use this, the whole familiarizing yourself, is because hip hop is, at this point, probably in your lifetime, whether you know it or not, interacted with maybe all corners of society. And in that, you sort of see the overall reach of it, and maybe you can kind of begin to understand, which I'm still building that knowledge for myself, of like how it goes from this not intending to be commercial thing to this incredibly commercial thing, but still a culture, right? And while you can definitely commercialize culture, I think we kind of just see that on the day to day. There is something to be said about living in a culture and finding the beauty and the harmony of it. I don't know if I was saying harmony of it or harmony in it, but we're going to go with harmony in it, even when it's heavily commercialized. So mostly, yeah, the idea is just to, even if it's someone you hear mentioned around you a lot and you don't have a framework of where to go, it's helpful. because obviously that artist most likely, or artists that they're connected to as you go down the rabbit hole, are connected to tons of people. This is particularly applicable to you if you don't listen to hip hop, i.e. you don't consciously pay attention to it enough to think of any artist or even to start with. You don't want to start with an artist in popular media, such as movies, books, or podcasts that you may have looked at. I can use these trail off moments as breakaways. I can make y'all. Anyway, just start with a prominent musician in a genre you already enjoy, assuming you listen to music. This can be done through immediately noticeable collaborations, such as your musician of choice. Not an actual name, but I've been thinking about like making it something now. If someone hasn't already done something with that, just featuring a hip hop artist or a rapper, or some rappers and hip hop artists don't even consider themselves that. So, you know what I mean? But the idea is that you're taking something that you already have a noticeable framework for, neural network, if we want to go like, don't worry, y'all, we're going to get into it. Oh, man. But you already have somebody that you have a huge association with, or an artist or a group if the group isn't actually a human per se, or the musician rather. You have something to base your idea off of already, and then you can add in this new thing. Not necessarily base your idea of what hip-hop is, but of what music is and how it relates to hip-hop. Because hip-hop isn't just music, at least not the culture. Already the shirt ideas, the culture. I'm pretty sure that's been like done to infinity by now, but that's the fun part of infinity, right? It's infinite. Close-up screen, different voice change. So looking into the liner notes to see who's on the credits for songs can also be a really helpful way to get introduced to hip-hop artists or hip-hop culture. There's a lot of writers who have written for tons of things, who also are in the hip-hop sphere or happen to collaborate a lot with the hip-hop sphere. I'm also going to consciously attempt to not say names of popular artists on this channel, at least for right now. No particular reason. I'm more so challenging myself and just seeing what I can come up with to give you like the idea of what I'm saying, but not the name of the person. Of course, at some point I'll start including links to a bunch of things in the actual description, which will also be a way to get you to interact with the description in some way. But also at some point I'll just start saying names. Don't ask me questions. This is the first video that I'm doing for this, and I'm excited. Just let me be excited. If you've only started recently consciously paying attention to music of any kind, assuming that you don't or haven't listened to music at all, or not very much, which is also very possible, look up your favorite actor, sports person. If neither of these are applicable, politicians, public figures, scientists, philosophers, nutritionists, doctors, just about any field where there's some sort of public eye or collective attention, you can probably find someone who is also part of the hip-hop culture or has done something in collaboration with it, and in that way you're also still finding a way in, which is the overall point. It's not to make it difficult, it's just to start an association somewhere. And then if all of these are like, nah, don't want to do any of that, you could look up the most popular rap and hip-hop songs in any given year. This can be accomplished by looking up companies and charts responsible for the tracking of the most listened to / best selling music in your country. Blogs, podcasts, and other similar forms of media are also really good at accomplishing this. Mostly because they tend to cite their sources from said charts and companies that are tracking the sales. If you don't have any charts that currently feature rap or hip hop in your country, you can start by referring to Billboard Music's Hot 100. Now you notice I just said the name of someone prominent, or I guess I should say something, because although corporations are treated as individuals in America, Billboard is not and is an individual. It's just one made up of many individuals, like Legion. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna end there before I get overcast. I'm gonna have the original draft of this script posted to medium.com. That's medium.com at Rondald, Rondald James, James with an 8, because a lot of places won't let me put an asterisk after my name, which is what the 8 is actually for. But either way, it works, right? And then I'll also have, which will probably be a lot longer in word count, this version of it where all the ums and ahs and ands are in there, because why not? And also eventually I'll have to subtitle it, so might as well just make more out of what's happening. Yeah. Oh, and my dad made these shirts. Oh, look, I can stand up in front of my microphone, but I have to watch out for hitting it. Excitement. I may be wrong, but I highly doubt that. I am an Owens, which is my last name. If you want any of those, I'll have to see if he still has the design, or I'll just make some new ones. You can follow me over at Patreon at... Hold on, ooh, this is why you have the Patreon pulled up. Patreon at zpbmlal LLC. That's my wife and I's company. That's zpbmlal LLC.com. Also, there's a space between zpbmlal and LLC, but it also might change, so that's what it is right now, but I'll keep plugging that as we go along. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening or interacting. Just thank you. Yeah, thanks for the experience, and thanks for experiencing. I really appreciate y'all. Let's hope that this recorded properly. Also, wanted to make sure I left tools, learning gear. So and I'm reading this straight out of my notebook, but I realized that all of us are differently abled, and I'm still learning fully what that means. So I apologize if anyone takes offense to this. It's not meant as an offense, merely as a self-recognizing that how everyone interacts with this culture that we may all share a love for is not the same, but that doesn't diminish our love or our appreciation of it. So tools that I required for the first lesson, or that might be helpful, they're not necessarily requirements, is access to people who indulge in hip-hop culture if they themselves are not already indulgent, they themselves being you. Somewhere to interact with music, whether the written or spoken word. There's tons of sites out there that you could find, or you really could just type the lyrics into. That's also assuming that you have internet, which might not be a thing. So I think that'll be something else that I put in, ways to find more hip hop in the written format. If you're differently abled in your sensory perceptions, if your perception at the moment or in general is hearing, you can use feeling of vibrations. I've heard of dancers doing this. I've had some experiences with it, which is pretty nice, where I'm just dancing around. which is literally just getting used to how the literal song feels. How does it feel? This is actually helpful in general music, but also, of course, in freestyling. The ability to feel music, especially if it's an instrumental that you're rapping over and there are no words and there's nothing to give you a sense of what it feels like, or rather the sense that is being interpreted is by you, and it might correctly be what the creator of that instrumental or piece of music intended, or you might go a completely different way and still hit on similar melody patterns or similar ideas that they had that weren't verbally or consciously expressed. But literally just being able to feel the music is something that will help you in an infinite number of ways, and not even just the musical aspect of hip-hop or even hip-hop culture. Being able to feel music is a real skill, is a learned one, and there's tons of ways to simulate that. Do I know all of those ways yet? No, but I'm gonna keep researching because I'm really passionate about people just being able to enjoy stuff if that's also their intent, like hip-hop music. Also search for sign language translations of songs. This is something I've seen more recently in years, and that's been really cool to watch. If sight is your preferred means of sensory perception, watching videos of rappers is actually immensely helpful. Note the style of dress, the dance moves, themes, callbacks, and allusions, references to other forms of media or to other forms of hip-hop media, as well as the tropes contained in the videos, should there be any, and a lot. There's probably tons. Many, if not arguably all of them, influence the lyrical content, abstract, and aesthetics of what we call hip-hop music and hip-hop culture. And I know there's probably more stuff that I could add to that. I'm gonna keep at it. Thank y'all so much. You just freestyled. had to end the show.
So let me not get you up here with us. If I do, then I know what I'm supposed to do with it. So none of the gang gets me anyway, even if they try to run this quick. I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio, but like, oh, I feel like Leonardo who make it in the aerospace. That would make me a painter, don't need no frame to show this line. If they want my photo to be less light, let them know I'm right. Let them know I'm right, but you're so left.